Adventures in time and space, told in future tense.
Dimension X.
The mind of man is still an unprobed field. Within it lie many mysteries still unsolved. But there are men today, psychologists now experimenting with telepathy, hypnosis, thought transference, who believe that in the future we may discover the existence of a force of the mind more powerful than any force the world has ever known. We go ahead now in time some 10 years, and in space to the campus of a small eastern college. The hour is late, and in one of the dark college buildings, two men stand in front of a door that bears the name Professor Arthur Barnhouse, Psychology.
Well, here you are, Clinton.
Thank you, Major.
Here are the keys to the professor's desk and files. I guess you inherit everything now. You might as well dictate a full report while everything's still fresh in your mind. I'll wait and see you home.
Oh, no, that isn't necessary. I'll be all right.
You sure? After what's happened tonight, we wouldn't want you to have an accident, too.
Major, after what happened tonight, I have a hunch the whole world is ripe for an accident.
I'm afraid you're right, Clinton. Well, good night.
Good night. Pull yourself together, Buster. Easy does it. August 21st, 1960. Restricted report from George Clinton to the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, the FBI, National Security Board, etc., etc., etc. Subject, the so-called Barnhouse effect, and Professor Arthur Barnhouse, who discovered it. I first met the professor 2 years ago in the fall of 1958. He was a professor of psychology here at Wilton College, and I was here on an instructor's fellowship in the psych department. They assigned me to be Barnhouse's assistant, and he needed one. He hardly ever remembered to go to a class, and he didn't seem to do anything else either. For 3 months, I watched him sitting at the desk here in his study. He'd either stare at nothing for hours or fall asleep, nodding over his mess of papers. I couldn't understand it, and it was none of my business. But one day, I thought I'd better give him a shake.
What?
I said it's 2:15, Professor. Don't you want to go to your 2 o'clock class?
Don't you want to mind your own business?
I beg your pardon.
Sorry, Clinton. Forgive me. I don't know what gets into me. Forget the class. The kids would rather be outdoors anyway.
Okay, Professor. In that case, I'm sorry I woke you up.
It's all right. I just can't seem to get my sleeping done at night. Clinton, what do you know about the international situation?
Well, I'm no political scientist, if that's what you mean. I read the papers when I have time.
Well, that's the way I've always been. Lately, I've had to look into it. I stay up nights looking into it.
Professor, I don't want you to take this personally or anything, but... Well, sir, I wonder if you'd mind if I asked to be transferred.
You mean you'd rather work with somebody else in the department?
Oh, no, sir, it's not that. I think maybe there's a chance for a psychologist to work on that government project.
Government project? Oh, yes, that Army thing.
Yes, sir. They're trying to develop robot pilots for their new fighter rockets so they'll be expendable.
Oh, yes. Something else designed to replace men.
Yes, sir, and you know it's a funny thing. The robots work just like human brains. They get overworked or overloaded or something, and they have nervous breakdowns. Now, if I could only find out what drives those electronic brains crazy, why, I'd feel
Clinton,
that I was...
if you want to study a brain that's going crazy, never mind the robots. You can go to work on me.
What are you talking about, sir?
I don't know. I'm either crazy as a bedbug or a... Clinton, I wish you'd help me find out.
Are you serious, Professor?
I never was more serious in my life. I'm afraid I'm going out of my mind.
But why? What makes you think so?
This is what makes me think I'm crazy.
Those dice?
Clinton, do you know what the odds are against my rolling a 7?
Oh, about 5 or 6 to 1.
Watch. 7. Now, what are the odds against my rolling it again?
Twice in a row? Plenty. About 100 to 1, I'd say.
Watch.
Professor, you're hotter than a $2 pistol.
It's funny. That's what they said 8 years ago when I first discovered this.
Discovered what?
This force of the mind. I call it dynamo-psychism.
You mean you shoved those dice around just by thinking about it?
People have always thought there could be a force of the mind. You know that. Fortunately or unfortunately, I've learned to control it.
Yeah? How did you happen to find out about this, Professor?
Well, it was about 10 years ago, back in 1948. I made the mistake of going to a psychologist's convention, and in order not to appear unsocial, I happened to find myself, for the first and only time in my life, in a dice game.
What happened?
I didn't have the faintest idea what was expected of me, and someone told me to roll 7s. So I did. 10 of them.
I'll bet you weren't asked back into that game.
That night, in my room, I realized that it simply couldn't have been an accident, Clinton. I tried to reconstruct the exact scene, the position of my body, and finally, the thoughts in my mind. And that was what did it. I remembered what had been my train of thought, and I proceeded to roll 7s, not 10 consecutive times, but 50.
Oh, brother, there it is again. Professor, can you do anything else? I mean, besides shove dice around?
You see that inkwell on my desk?
Sure.
Watch it. Don't take your eyes off it. If nothing happens, say so, and I shall go quietly, even happily, to the nearest sanitarium.
Okay, Professor, shoot. Hey, why, it just blew up.
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to splash ink on your suit.
That's okay, Professor. What was that funny noise?
Oh, that? The dynamo psychic waves are a little like ultra-high frequency waves. Sometimes, when I turn on the power, they create a kind of static.
Listen, Professor, how much power have you got? Could you blow up anything, well, you know, big?
I could flatten the Great Wall of China.
Boy, you'll make the helio-oxygen bomb look sick.
That's what scares me, Clinton. The thought that maybe I could use this power to save the world. Clinton, you've got to help me.
Who, me? Professor, when it comes to international relations, I don't know from where. You'd better get in touch with the State Department.
State Department? Yes, they'd be the ones, wouldn't they? Well, you probably want to be getting home now. I'll see you to the door. I could use a breath of fresh air.
Okay, Professor. You better stop brooding about this. You get somebody else to do your worrying for you.
Yes, you're right. I have been brooding, wondering what to do. Just sitting and staring endlessly at that awful monstrosity across the way.
You mean the old bell tower?
Yes, I've gotten so I can't stand the sight of it anymore.
Professor! Professor, look! Why, there's nothing left but a pile of rubble.
Oh, my, I didn't really mean to do that. Well, you see, Clinton, it's got to the point where my lightest whim is more dangerous than a blockbuster.
Professor, you get in and write that letter to the State Department right now. You packed too much of a wallop. Professor Barnhouse mailed his letter, and things happened fast. The long arm of the Army reached out, and within 5 days, the two of us were deposited in an old mansion in Virginia, surrounded with a barbed wire fence and 20 guards, and labeled top secret. As soon as they'd seen a couple of small demonstrations, they set up a big test of dynamo psychism, and the professor was a very important guy. You could see him getting more unhappy every day.
General Barker, I've got to talk to you.
Just a minute, Professor. We're cleaning up the last details in Operation Brainwave. We'll roll at 1400 hours tomorrow.
At 1400 what?
2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The robot-controlled fighter rockets will take off at exactly 1400 minus 10 and appear over the target at 1400. Watching from here over the video screen, you will then try to knock all 20 of them out of the sky. Think you can do it?
Of course I can do it.
Fine. and we've taken care of everything.
Everything except that you neglected to ask me if I wanted to do it. I don't. This whole thing strikes me as childish and insanely expensive.
We'll decide about that.
But what's the good of it? I wouldn't mind acting as a defense weapon if it were necessary. But I can make all wars and armaments unnecessary. I could give every nation what it needs. I could move mountains, build roads, dig irrigation canals. I have a technique which costs nothing and can do immense good. You're spending millions to prove that it can do immense damage. It doesn't make sense.
You know something, General? He's right.
Of course I'm right. I want you to send me and Clinton back to Wilton College. Right away.
That's quite impossible, Professor. This operation has gone too far to be called off now.
Yes, but...
Even if we wanted to call it off. If your dynamo psychism really works, you're apt to be the key to our entire defense setup.
But listen...
You'll have to excuse me now. Major Cuthrell and I have to double-check the confidential list of the observers on this end. Have you got it, Major?
Yes, General. It's right here. Alberts, Barker, Bernstein, Carter, Clinton, Cuthrell, Holbrook, Lawrence, Stein, Williams.
Check. I guess that includes everybody of importance.
What about me?
What? Oh, that's taken for granted, Professor.
Thanks.
1400 hours. Will you be ready?
I'll be ready. And now, if someone will wind the restricted clock and put the confidential cat out, I'm going to bed.
YDR to brainwave control. Observation plane to brainwave control. Come in, please.
That's McKinley in the observation plane. Cut me in. Hello, McKinley. Reading you clear on the speaker. Everything all right?
All okay, General. Takeoff uneventful. Fighter rockets now flying on course in perfect formation. Altitude 5,000 feet. Airspeed 865. Visibility unlimited. Are you tracking us?
We've got you on radar. Haven't picked you up on the video screen yet. What's your estimated time of arrival over at the target?
ETA, 2 minutes.
Check. Remember, McKinley, the observation plane is not to enter the target range. Veer off and circle at the 10-mile limit. Bring the rockets overhead by remote control.
Check. Observation signing off.
1 minute, 45 seconds to go, Professor Barnhouse. Are you in good shape?
I'm all right, General.
Good. You can all take our places in front of the video screen now. You sit here, Professor, in the center. Major Cuthrell, will you turn on the video screen?
Right, General. Nothing yet, just empty sky. Hold it. I hear him coming in.
There are 20 of them, Professor. You think you can knock them down at this altitude?
Distance has nothing to do with it.
I don't want anything to go wrong. You're sure you feel all right?
General, I know I can do it. If that's all that's worrying you, let's call the whole thing off and save $20 million.
There they are. They're coming in.
Get ready, Professor. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, wide open, Professor. Well, go ahead, Barnhouse. Knock them down.
I did.
Nonsense. All you've done is blank out the video screen. What went wrong? Did you give it everything you had?
I was wide open, General.
Then it didn't work. They're still flying. What's that?
It just took a few seconds to work. That's...
Holy smoke, they're dropping like flies.
McKinley to brainwave control. What's happened to these rockets? They're going down like flames.
By heaven, it works. It really works. Cuthrell, get Washington on the line. Barnhouse, I want you to... Hey, where's Barnhouse?
He was right here.
Clinton, where's the professor?
Got me, General. We were all staring at the video. He must have walked out.
Get moving, everybody. Alert the guard. Search the house.
Yes, sir.
If anything happens to that man...
General Barker. General Barker.
What is it, Corporal?
Corporal Gray guard at the main gate. Sir, Professor Barnhouse is gone.
Gone, where?
He came tearing out of the gate at 40 miles an hour. Here's a note, sir. Threw it out of the car as he went by. I picked it up.
Let me see it, quick. What got into that man?
What does he say, General?
Gentlemen, as the first superweapon with a conscience, I'm removing myself from your national defense stockpile. Setting a new precedent in the behavior of ordnance, I have humane reasons for going off. Signed, At the barnhouse.
Barnhouse was gone. Within 12 hours, the world was on a spree. The headlines were glorious or terrible, depending on what you think of the things the way they are.
Barnhouse flattens helio bomb factory!
The dynamo's psychic waves reached every corner of the world. In every country, every continent flashed the news of what was happening.
Hey, Barnhouse knocks out hidden atomic stockpile in Asia!
There was a new kind of war, the war of tattletales. Secret agents of every country hunted for the hidden armaments of their enemies, yelled about them in the newspapers, and immediately there'd be that warning burst of barnhouse static, followed by...
Radio-controlled fleet blown up on secret maneuver!
The professor was out to make peace or bust, and nothing like him ever was. Look, Major Cuthrell, I told the FBI and the Army everything I know weeks ago. I've answered questions till I'm blue in the face.
I didn't come here to ask questions, Clinton. I came to ask for your help.
My help?
That's right. To find Barnhouse.
What if I don't want to?
If you're his friend, I think you'd better.
Why pick on me? You've got the FBI, the police, and Army intelligence. Why can't you find him yourselves?
We're trying. But you know the man well. You could spot him where we wouldn't. And you're the only one who can.
Maybe. But why should I? Wherever he is, I think he's doing fine. He's making war impossible, and I like it.
So do I.
Yes? He's putting you out of a job.
That's all right with me. I'll retire to a truck farm with pleasure.
Well, then?
Look, Clinton, we aren't the only ones in this race. Every country in the world has its best agents out hunting for Barnhouse. Nobody can beat that kind of a manhunt.
He seems to be doing all right so far.
Sure, but how long do you think he can keep it up? A week? A month? Sooner or later, he'll be spotted. And if the wrong people find him, Clinton, we're done for. You know what kind of weapon this is. Whoever controls the Barnhouse effect can control the world.
Well, all right. Suppose they do find him. He'd never give the secret away.
Never give it away? Are you out of your mind? Do you think these fellas are playing for marbles?
Well, no, but...
Read the papers, Clinton. Don't you know what's going on in the rest of the world?
Yes,
They'll get the secret out of Barnhouse, all right. And what happens to him in the process won't be very pretty.
Well, he must realize that, then. He'll never let himself be taken alive.
He may not have the choice. And if he doesn't, God help us all.
All right. All right, I'm in.
Good. Now, do you know anything that you haven't told us? Anything that might give us a lead?
Only this. It was addressed to me. I found it here on his desk the morning after he escaped.
You mean he came back here?
Yes. I guess he needed to pick up some personal effects. Anyway, the files were open, and he left this note on a scrap of paper.
Anything to do with the Barnhouse effect?
Read it yourself. It's Greek to me. Just these few lines scrawled on a piece of paper, and the last one breaks off right in the middle of the sentence.
This stuff doesn't make any sense at all. You know, from the looks of this, I'm beginning to wonder if the professor isn't going off his rocker.
I thought of that, too.
All the more reason why we've got to get to him quick. He may be helpless, and the whole world's on his track. Come on, Clinton. We haven't much time.
You say you do recognize this photograph, Mrs. Reardon?
I tell you, it looks like Mr. Balfour's. He had the second floor front room for quite a while, but he left, I should say, about a week ago. Say, is he wanted for something?
Yes, if he's the man I think he is.
Well, now, I'd say you're looking for the wrong fella. That Mr. Balfour, he couldn't be a criminal. Why, he wouldn't even harm a fly. He spent all his time in his room, just thinking.
Oh, brother, it's hot. What a way to spend an August afternoon, huh, Major? Give my eye teeth to be at Jones Beach.
So would I, Corporal. We've got work to do here.
Look, sir, we've been cruising around these radio detection cars for a week. Not a sign of Barnhouse static. The professor must have run out of things to work on.
Well, we'll give him a little more time. Switch to shortwave. See if there's anything special coming through.
Yes.
Try the 9-meter wave.
Radio Miranda called.
Let's hear that.
Our American enemies who have hidden behind the unjust and diabolical persecution by Professor Arthur Barnhouse
Uh-oh.
will tyrannize us no more.
Wonder if the professor's out of
Today,
this.
our glorious leader takes up his residence in a shelter, shielded with lead against all dynamo psychic rays. With his protection designed by our brilliant scientists to be absolutely impregnable against the Barnhouse effect. You will once again lead us on the path of our glorious death.
Quick, triangulate it and get me a fix. I've got it. Let me check this chart. Quick, man. 3.9, 1.7. Oh, my aching back. What is it? We haven't got a prayer of finding a major. He'd have to be picked out of 2 million people.
Where is Barnhouse?
Right where I was wishing I was. Right smack in the middle of Jones Beach.
Sorry, gents, we're full. No more rooms tonight.
We don't want a room. Do you recognize this picture?
Who wants to know?
Uncle wants to know.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me see it. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a lot like room 417.
About 5 feet 8, thin, sandy hair, glasses, little scar right across the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, that's 417, all right.
You mean he's here now?
No, not anymore. He checked out 2 days ago. But he couldn't have gone far.
What makes you say that?
Oh, he looked sick as a dog. Couldn't hardly carry his own bag out.
Uh-oh.
Like I said to the other fellas, I said he looked like he was on his way to the morgue.
What other fellas?
Oh, they were the ones this morning. You're the second pair that's been asking for him.
Here we are, Ward 15. This way, gentlemen.
You're sure he's here, nurse?
Oh, yes.
Thank heaven we're in time.
Well, I wasn't on duty when he came in, but one of the other girls told me he'd collapsed in the street. The ambulance brought him in.
Poor guy, he must have really had it rough.
Oh, here you are. Bed number 78. This is your man.
Wait a minute.
This isn't Barnhouse.
But I was perfectly sure. Oh, wait, let me check his chart. Dismissed 8 p.m.
Only an hour ago.
Oh, dear, now I remember.
Remember what? If he was sick, why did you let him go?
Well, 2 of his friends came and took him away. They didn't want him in the charity ward. They said they'd make sure that he was taken care of.
Every time I walk into this study, I keep hoping somehow I'll wake up out of a bad dream and find the professor just sitting here. Major, is there anything we haven't covered?
Nothing. The police, the FBI, the air patrols, the docks, the railroad stations, everything. Not even a flea could get through this dragnet. I hope.
Then I guess we sit.
We sit. Maybe something will come in. Do you have to roll those dice?
I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking.
An hour. That's what's driving me crazy. 1 hour sooner, and he'd have been in our hand, not theirs.
I know. Well, maybe he's still all right.
How can he be all right? He's in the hands of a foreign power.
We don't know that for sure. The professor was a likable little guy. He couldn't have lasted this long if he hadn't found some friends. Maybe they came and took him away.
Well, grab that.
Hello? Yes?
Clinton, is that you?
Professor Barnhouse.
Clinton, they've got me.
Who's got you? Where are you, Professor?
I don't know. They said something about taking me to an airport.
An airport? Which one?
Listen, Clinton, I've got to tell you. The inkwell.
What are you talking about?
Remember the inkwell?
Professor Barnhouse. Operator.
Your call, please.
Operator, that caller just came in here. Can you trace it?
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid it's too late. Your party has been disconnected.
Where are we headed? He didn't say which airport.
Just a hunch. The commercial airfields are all covered. But there's a little private field out here, I remember. Hasn't been used in years.
Better be the one.
They didn't have too much of a start on us. Maybe we'll make it in time. Step on it, Corporal.
Wide open, Major.
How'd he sound? Did he say who had him?
No, all he got out was airport and something about an
Major, Mr. Clinton, there's a tail light up ahead. Must be another car going like the devil.
You're right, I see it. They're turning into the airfield. Come on, faster.
Hold everything. Look up ahead. They're switching the floodlights on at the field.
There's the plane down at the other end, all warmed up and ready to go.
We'll never make it on the road. Hang on, I'm going through the fence, right? Cal, what's the matter? Get going. Sorry, sir. Must have cracked the axle. They're taking off. Get out the submachine gun. You can't. Barnhouse is in that plane. You'll kill him. We've got to take that chance. That plane's headed straight for us. Hit the dirt. Get that gun working, Corporal. Aim for the propeller. Couldn't get him, Major. Well,
There goes the old ball game.
I'll get through to Air Patrol, sir. Maybe they can intercept the plane.
Not a chance. By the time the fighters got off the ground, the plane would be out of range. No, we've lost, Barnhouse. Nothing can save us now.
Hey, what? What hit me? Clinton, are you all right? Yeah, sure. The plane. It's gone.
I know. Barnhouse blew it right out of the sky. He wouldn't let himself be taken alive.
Boy, he really did it the hard way. Poor guy. He shouldn't have had to be a hero. All he ever wanted was peace.
Peace? What's that? Now the arms race will start all over again. And with Barnhouse gone, what's left to stop it?
So they brought me back here to the professor's old study to dictate this report. I'm sitting here at his desk, and it's just the way he left it. Papers all over, even his old pair of dice. Arthur Barnhouse is dead. That's going to be good news for some people when they find out. The saber rattlers of the world will be busy as of tomorrow morning, getting ready to whoop up another war. I'm afraid they're in for a little surprise. It's 3 a.m. now. And before morning comes, I intend to vanish, disappear completely. That's the last that anybody will ever see or hear of me directly. That's why I want to tell you now. I've been looking at the new inkwell here on the desk. The professor's last words were something about an inkwell. And in it, I found a little scrap of paper. Just a few words, but they complete the note I showed the major. The note that didn't make any sense. The whole thing makes sense now. Professor Barnhouse may be dead. But you haven't heard the last of the Barnhouse effect. Not yet. I've been experimenting while I've been talking to you. And now the time has come for me to say goodbye. You see, I've just rolled my 50th consecutive 7.
You have just heard Report on the Barnhouse Effect by Kurt Vonnegut, Jr. An adventure in time, space, and the unknown. Dimension X.
Next week, the strange story of the interspace rocket Star Cloud, which vanished mysteriously behind the Great Galactic Barrier in the year 1986. What happened to it and to its crew? We'll tell you next week.
Tonight's story, Report on the Barnhouse Effect, was adapted for radio by Clarice A. Ross. Featured in the cast were Bill Quinn as Clinton, Ed Jerome as Professor Barnhouse, and Carl Weber as Major Cutthroat. Your host was Norman Rose. Music, Albert Berman. Engineer, Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. Tomorrow, hear Sam Spade. Now, it's Truth or Consequences on NBC.
Adventures in time and space. Transcribed in future tense. Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight, Dimension X brings you a glimpse of what may well happen within your own lifetime. The Robert Heinlein story, The Roads Must Roll.
Here's a run, watch them run. Oh, our job is never done, for our roadways go rolling along. While you ride, we are watching down inside, so your roadways keep rolling along. Oh, it's high, high heat, the roadmen are we. Check off the sectors loud and strong. 1, 2, anywhere you go, you are bound to know that your roadways keep rolling along. Keep them rolling, your roadways keep rolling along.
It was in the middle 1950s that the automotive age began to die. The traffic engineers had long expected it. For years, they had watched our vast cities sprawl and spread out, spill over into the countryside, become more and more dependent on motor transportation. And then finally, the inevitable breaking point was reached. The growing flood of cars and buses and trucks began to swamp the streets and arterial highways. The building of roads could no longer keep pace. The superhighways clogged, congested, became packed with cars stalled bumper to bumper, and the cities began to die of slow strangulation, for the traffic could no longer roll. And then the engineers took over. They banned the automobiles, tore up the superhighways, and in their place they built the rolling roads. Mechanized roads that moved like huge conveyor belts, whirling along on their giant rotors at speeds ranging from 5 to 100 miles an hour, carrying the freight, the food, and the people from city to city and coast to coast. An engineering miracle had changed the face of a nation. The automobiles and railroads vanished. The rolling roads had taken over all transportation. And no one worried over the fact that if the roads should ever stop, our whole economic life would stop. For the machinery had never failed yet. The machinery that rolled the roads was perfect. But people forgot that machinery depends on men, the men who run it.
Who makes the roads roll? That's right. The engineers. Not the supervisors, not the mechanic union, but the engineers. We're the brains of the roads. And where would the public be if we didn't keep those roads out there rolling? Right behind the 8-ball, and everybody knows it. All right, then. We're the men who hold the power. And it's time we started using it. We've called this meeting of the Engineers Control Committee because that's what we want to do, control. Because I'm tired of taking orders from the Transport Commission, from slick desk jockeys like Jim Gaines, who don't even know a rotor bearing from a field car. Let Gaines yammer about our duty to the public. That's a lot of eyewash. We've got the power, and we're the men that count. It's time we quit fiddling around and use a little direct action to get what we want.
Let's go. Mr. Chairman. The chair recognizes Brother Harvey of the Transport Mechanics Union.
Thanks, boys. I don't rightly belong here since I'm no engineer. I'm just here to represent the workers' union. But I want to know what's all the shooting for. You engineers have got better working conditions than we have, and we ain't kicking. You say you engineers are powerful. You say you can tie up the road.
That's right.
Well, listen. So can any screwball with a jar of nitroglycerin.
Hey, what's he can?
Yeah, and he don't need no engineering degree neither.
Harvey, are you speaking for your union now? Or are you here as a stooge for the Transport Commission?
Listen, I helped found my union, and I led the strike in 75 for decent working conditions. Where were you engineers then, huh? With the feet!
Now, Brother Harvey, remember you're only a guest at this meeting. Go on, Van.
Now, listen, men. I'm one of the old engineers on the roads. You all worked up the hardwood. We didn't go to the fancy technical institutes like those young punk cadets the commission is training to take over our jobs. That's right, man. Jim Gaines don't fill us full of the old school spirit and that baloney about how the roads must roll. So, all right, then. Why don't we get smart for a change? What would happen if the roads stopped rolling? Maybe the country would begin to realize that they can't do without us. And maybe we'd begin to get the things we want. The roads must roll!
Yes? Your wife is calling, Mr. Gaines.
All right, put her on.
Jim, I want you to stop off on your way home.
I'm sorry, darling, I can't make it.
Oh, but you promised.
Yes, I know, but Washington called in. They're sending Evans, the Australian Minister of Transport, through my sector today. I've got to show him through personally.
Well, can't somebody else?
Well, I'm chief supervisor. It wouldn't be courteous.
Darling, courtesy begins at home. I've planned this dinner for weeks.
Honey, the roads must roll.
Jim, if you quote that nauseating slogan at me again, I'll divorce you.
Well, I can't help it, darling. I tell you, I'll meet you at Stockton at 9. We'll take in a show. Kiss Alan goodnight for me.
All right, dear. Goodbye.
Bye, darling.
Mr. Evans is here.
Send him in.
Go right in, sir.
Well, good evening, Mr. Evans. I'm Gaines, chief engineer.
How do you do, Mr. Gaines?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. They told me at the embassy you'd be the man to see.
Oh?
I want to know how the roads work.
I think we can handle that.
I'm not a technical man, Mr. Gaines. My field is sociology. Suppose you tell me about the roads as if I were entirely ignorant.
Well, fine. Well, it's nearly dinner time. Suppose we run up to Stockton sector for dinner.
All right.
Take us about an hour on the roads, and you can see them working.
Excellent.
If you'll excuse me for a minute.
Of course.
Hi, Chief. What can I do for you?
Oh, Dave, you're on the evening watch, huh? Where's Van Cleek?
Oh, going to some meeting.
I'm going up to Stockton for dinner. Anything to report?
No, sir. The roads are rolling.
Okay, keep them rolling. All right, Mr. Evans, let's go. This here is the low-speed strip. You ever ridden a conveyor before?
No.
Oh, it's quite simple. Remember to face the motion of the strip as you get on. Well, that's it.
All right.
We'll go right across here. Each adjoining strip is a few miles an hour faster than the one next to it.
I see.
Freight is carried on the 50-mile strip. Most passenger traffic is on the express strip.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, watch your step.
All right.
Here we are, maximum speed.
100 miles an hour. Amazing.
This strip makes a round trip San Diego to Reno in 12 hours. Oh, here's the restaurant. Ready to eat?
But is this a restaurant?
There's a sign, Jake's Steakhouse, fastest meal on the road.
Is it really a proper restaurant?
Yeah, one of the best. Hooked right into the moving strip, of course. Shall we go in?
Hello there, Mr. Gaines. We don't see much of you out on the road.
Well, busy in the office, Jake.
Oh, two, right this way.
Thank you.
Here we are. Now, what'll it be?
Well, you order it, Jake.
Well, how about a steak? 2 inches thick from a steer that died happy.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Plug me in the intercom, will you, Jake?
Sure, there's a talk box right next to it. Flank tool, Ryan.
If you excuse me, Mr. Evans.
Davidson on watch.
This is the chief, Davidson. I'm at Jake's Steakhouse. You can reach me at 10L66.
10L66, right.
There now. They can get a hold of me in an emergency now.
Mr. Gaines, what kind of an emergency could there be?
Well, two principally. Power failure on the rotors would bring the road to a standstill. That happened during rush hour. We'd have to evacuate millions of people.
Well, as many as that?
Oh, yes, easily. There are 12 million people dependent on this section of road. Gaines here.
Hello, Chief. Davidson. I just got the hourly reports in.
Proceed.
Cadet engineer Gunther, while on watch, was found playing cards with C.J. Ross, technician on duty.
Any damage?
One rotor running hot, but still synchronized. It was jacked down and replaced.
All right. Have the paymaster give Ross his time. Turn him over to civil authorities. Place Cadet Gunther under arrest. Bring him to Road Town Central.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep him rolling. As I was saying, Evans, there are two possibilities of danger. Can you visualize what would happen if the strip under us would break?
I hadn't thought of that. You don't realize you're traveling at 100 miles an hour.
Well, it can't break, not now. The strip has a safety factor of over 12 to 1. This is good soup, Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines.
But you know, Evans, a break did happen once in the early days. That was on the Philadelphia-Jersey City Road.
Dear me, no.
That's right. The strip wasn't much more than a conveyor belt then. You know, it buckled for miles, crushing passengers against the roof. Yeah. Forward section in front of the brake spilled them down under into the rotors and the rollers.
Was it very bad?
Over 3,000 people were killed in that break. But, Evans, the roads had to go on. You know, the entire economic system hangs on the roads. If they stopped now, the country would starve.
Isn't it possible that you've become too dependent on these roads, Mr. Gaines? For example, what if you had a strike?
We had a strike back in 75, but, there's not much danger of that anymore.
Oh? Why not?
Every cadet that goes to work on the roads today is a graduate of the United States Transport Academy.
Oh, I see.
They're all picked men, screened for emotional stability. They're trained to give us the same kind of loyalty that Annapolis and West Point developed in their men.
You're a graduate, I suppose, Mr. Gaines?
No, I was too old for that. The academy wasn't set up till after the strike in 75. But it won't be long now, maybe 5 or 10 years, Evans, before the oldest engineer on the roads is a man who's been through that academy. Now, Gaines here.
Davidson, Chief, there's trouble in Sacramento, Sector.
What is it? What's happening? Emergency stop. Hello, Davison. The phones must be out. Come on. Jake!
Hey, what is it? What's the matter?
Have everybody stay in the restroom, Jake.
What's that?
Probably somebody stepped onto the next strip. Got cut to ribbons. There'll be plenty of casualties. Jake, where's your getaway hat?
In the pantry.
Well, how am I going to help those people? I've got the whole road to think of. Now, don't bother me. Give me a hand, Jake. This hatch is stuck here. All right, if you're coming with me, Mr. Evans, you've got to move fast. I haven't got any time to waste.
Where are we now?
Freeway on top of the inner road ceiling. That's the outer shell over us there.
Are we going outside?
No, there'll be an access-down manhole over here. They're spaced every 100 feet. It's there by the green light. Oh. All right, this will get us down on the northbound road. Careful now, it's dark.
All right.
Stand away from that door, Evan.
But this road is still rolling.
Yeah, so it is. It was only the 100-mile strip that stopped. There's what I want, a phone booth. Look out, Evans. Excuse me, will you?
Hey!
Out.
I'm talking to my wife. What?
Don't argue. Out. Emergency priority. Division office.
Davidson?
Gaines here. Report.
Chief, where you been? I've been calling.
Never mind that report.
709 report. Strip 20 past emergency level. Interlocks acted and cut the strip out. Cause of failure unknown. Direct communication to Sacramento control office out. Evacuation of strip 20 commenced. No casualties.
There are casualties. I saw them. Put police and hospital routine A into operation. Get me Van Cleek. I want him to take over for me till I report in.
We can't reach him, Chief. Shall I cut out the rest of the road?
No, keep those other strips rolling or we'll have a traffic jam the devil himself couldn't untangle. There are 5 million passengers on that road now. Notify the governor that I've assumed emergency authority. Arm all cadets available and await orders.
Shall I recall technicians off watch?
No, this isn't an engineering failure, man. That whole sector went out simultaneously. Somebody cut those rotors by hand. Now, I want all available senior class cadets to report to Stockton Subsector Office 10. with pistols and tear gas.
Yes, sir. Oh, the governor wants to talk to you. He called in.
Refer him to somebody else. I'm busy. I'll get back to you. I'm going down under. You can't hear without an anti-noise filter. All right, come on.
What are we looking for?
A recon car. There should be one here.
Are those the rotors?
Yeah, the big ones are rotors. They drive the road. The little ones are rollers. They give continuous support.
I see.
Oh, there's a watch gang now, jacking down a rotor.
Can they hear us?
No, the noise filter works on a 4-foot radius. I'll flash them. He sees the light.
Is that Wilson reporting, sir?
I want your recon car, emergency.
Yes, sir. Right over here, sir.
Come on, Evans. All right, now, get in.
Well, it's so small.
Well, you fit. All right. All right, now, hang on. She accelerates like a rocket.
Oh, my stomach.
Relay station.
This is Gaines. Get me Davidson, senior watch officer.
Mr. Gaines, the mayor wants to talk.
I haven't got time. Get me Davidson. Leave this circuit hooked into Davidson's board until I tell you to cut it.
Yes, sir. Here's the senior watch officer.
Davidson?
Gaines calling. Have you found out yet what's stopping the roads?
No, sir. It's still a mystery to me.
All right, I'm on my way in a recon car. Hold everything till I get there.
Cadet Edmonds reporting, sir. 3 platoons of cadet engineers standing by with tumblebug motorcycles.
Are they armed?
Pistols and tear gas is ordered.
All right, good.
Assistant Supervisor Van Cleek is calling you on Circuit 9.
Well, it's about time. Cut me in.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Van. Where are you?
Sacramento office. Now listen,
Sacramento. That's good. Report.
in a pig's eye.
What?
I'm not your deputy anymore, Gaines.
Van, what are you talking about?
Now, don't interrupt me and you'll find out. You're through, Gaines. I've been picked as director of the Engineers Control Committee. We're taking over.
Have you gone off your rotor?
You can't start Strip 20 until I'm ready to let you.
Van!
I can stop the whole road if I have to.
Van Creek, I'll call in the Army.
How'll you get him here if the roads aren't rolling, eh? Listen, Gaines. Whoever controls the roads controls the country. And right now, that happens to be me. Sign off, Gaines. I've got to call the White House. You behave yourself. You won't get hurt.
I don't believe it, sir.
He's got us, Edmonds. If we go in and blast him out, he may wreck the road. What's your rolling tonnage now?
53% under evening peak, sir.
How about strip 20?
Almost evacuated.
Yeah. Listen in on this, Davidson.
Standing by, Chief.
I'm going down inside with these cadets. We're going to work north, overcoming any resistance that we may meet. The watch technicians and maintenance crews are to follow behind us. Each rotor, as they come to it, is to be cut out from under Sacramento's control, then hooked into the Stockton control board. You understand?
Got it.
Check.
If it works right, we can move control of Sacramento sector right out from under Van's feet. And he can stay in his office there till he's hungry enough to be reasonable. Edmonds, get me a pistol.
Mr. Gaines, there's a man here, and he's badly hurt. He wants to see you.
Take care of him. I haven't got time to...
He's from Sacramento sector.
What?
Sir.
Send him in here.
Mr. Gaines. Mr. Gaines.
Take it easy.
Mr. Gaines.
You're Harvey from the mechanics show.
Actually, I tried to warn you. Tried to get away. Shot me 3 times.
Get a doctor, will you? All right, now. Easy, Harvey. Harvey, how long has this been building up?
It isn't the men. It's the engineers. I told them they were crazy. Told them the roads got to roll. And when I tried to get away...
Easy now.
Bleeding from the mouth, sir.
Harvey? Harvey? Can you hear me?
He's dead, Mr. Gaines.
Come on, Edmonds. We better move. All right, you men. You saw Harvey brought in. How many of you want a chance to kill the louse that did it? All right, men. Anybody who hasn't got his mind on his job will be in the way. Now, here's the order. We move north, mounted on tumblebugs. We're going to try to regain control, rotor by rotor, before Sacramento sector knows what we're moving. Now, we've got to capture any watch personnel we run on before they can get word back, you understand? Men, surprise is vital. Use tear gas when possible. Shoot only when necessary. But get them before they can reach your phone jack. Any questions? No? Then move out. What's the score, Edmonds?
33 prisoners so far. No one killed.
For years since I rode one of these tumblebugs, forgotten how to steer it.
There's a man ahead. There at the rotor base.
Yeah, he's got a phone jacked in. Hurry. If he gets word back, we're sunk.
I don't think he's seen us. I'll dismount and get him.
All right.
Halt! We're out fire!
Quick, he sees us.
Come here, you.
Look out, he's got a gun.
I got him, sir. I got him.
Grab his gun. Yeah, he had an intercom jacked in, all right. If he's got through to Sacramento office, it's going to be tough.
I don't know, sir. Maybe you can get the call through.
Listen.
The road.
Take off your noise filter. There. It's the road. The road is stopping. Halt your men.
Halt. Hold up there. Hold up.
Edmonds, there's a recon car coming up.
Relay station call for Mr. Gaines in the recon speaker.
Give it to me.
Here you are, sir.
Gaines here.
Davidson here, Chief. Van Cleek's calling you.
Who stopped the road?
He did.
Oh, he did he? All right, cut Van Cleek into me.
You thought I was fooling, Gaines? What do you think now?
All right, Van. The road is stopped. You've won this trick.
Then why don't you get smart and give up? You can't win.
You forgot something, Van. You can't lick the whole country.
Yeah? Gaines, I've got a switch button in my hand. If I'll push it, it'll blow 300 yards straight across the roads. And then for good measure, I'll take an axe and wreck the control station before I leave.
That's pretty drastic, Van.
Yeah? If I blow this charge in the middle of Sacramento sector, it'll get an awful lot of people. There are plenty of shopkeepers still on Strip 20. That row of apartment houses next to the road will go.
Now, look, Van, you don't want to blow the road, neither do I. Suppose, Van, I come up to your headquarters and we talk this over. Two reasonable men ought to be able to make a settlement.
Is this some kind of a trick?
I'll come alone, unarmed. My men will stay here.
All right. All right, Gaines. But one wrong move and I'd blow the road.
Now, we've got to hurry, Dave. If I take too long, Van Cleek will get edgy and set off that charge.
I can't understand it. The psych tests are rigid. We've never had a failure in the Wadsworth-Burton method. Then suddenly a whole sector goes sour. How could Van Cleek get a whole crew of psych-cleared men to revolt?
It's easy, Dave. As my deputy, he was ex officio personnel officer for the whole road. He must have been faking psych records for years, transferring maladjusted men into his sector.
I've got that personnel record, Mr. Gaines.
Oh, thank you. This is Van's record here. Masked introvert, inferiority rating 7. Comment: in spite of potential instability shown on Wadsworth Curve, this officer is especially adept in handling men. He's adept, all right. I haven't got time for any more, Dave.
Chief, are you actually going up there to Van Cleek's office?
I've got to.
They'll be armed. They'll kill you.
I've got to take that chance.
Why don't you call in the Army? He won't dare blow the road then.
Yes, he would. Look at that psych record there. He's putting up a big, brave front, but he's rotten inside. He wants to be taken seriously. He wants everybody to think he's the most dangerous man in this country. If I call the Army in, he'll try to prove it by blowing the road.
But how can you stop him, Mr. Gaines? He'll have a gun. What'll you have?
What'll I have? Only a prayer. And what I know about Mr. Van Cleek.
All right, Gaines. Director Van Cleek will see you now.
Gaines, I want you to sign this now. The declaration of your recognition of the Engineers Control Committee. You've got 1 minute to sign it, Gaines, or I'll push this button and blow up the whole sector.
You better sign, Gaines.
You need this gorilla with the gun, Van?
Why are you...
Can't you handle one unarmed man alone?
All right, Harry, out.
But...
Out.
Yeah. Okay.
Blowing the road.
Gaines,
All right. Now sign.
What's so funny?
You are, man. You start a revolution because you think the engineers should control the road. Then when you've got control, the only thing you can think of to do is to blow it up. That's kind of silly, isn't it?
All right.
Tell me what you so scared.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, sitting there sweating all over that push button that you're holding. If your buddies knew how afraid you were, they'd probably throw you into the rotor.
I'm not afraid.
You're afraid of me right now, Van. You're afraid I'll have you on the carpet.
Got 1 minute time.
You're afraid the cadets won't salute you. You're afraid that they're laughing at you behind your back.
No, I'm not. You keep quiet now. I've got a gun
Yeah,
here.
you're afraid of using the wrong fork at dinner. You're afraid people are looking at you, Van, laughing at you.
I am not. Yeah, you dirty, stuck-up snob. Just because you went to a high-hat school, you think you're better than everybody, huh? You and your crummy little gold-braid cadet.
Van, you're a pathetic little shrimp. I understand you perfectly, Van. You're a third-rater. All your life, you've been afraid that someone would send you to the foot of the class, so you write out on your ear where you belong. I don't want to look at you anymore.
I'll show you. I'll put a bullet in you.
Put down that pop gun before you hurt yourself.
Don't you come near me now. Don't you come near. I'll shoot now.
Give me that, Van.
No, let me go, will you?
Give me that pistol. Yeah. I thought if I wounded your little ego, you'd forget to push that button and pull the trigger instead. I'm afraid you'll never make a good executive, Van. They have to know when to punch buttons. Gaines here.
Chief, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Tack now, Davidson. Mop up. I'll hold the control room. I've got Van Cleek. I think his little revolution is just about over.
Mr. Gaines.
Oh, Mr. Evans, I forgot about you.
I've been waiting at the sector office.
Yes?
Is everything under control?
Yes, all's rolling. Those are the watch engineers going under to check Sacramento sector inch by inch now.
Remarkable organization. Remarkable.
Thank you.
Howley's in, Chief. San Diego Circle rolling. Bakersfield, Fresno, Stockton.
Stockton, oh. Oh, no.
What's the matter, Chief?
The trouble, Mr. Gaines?
There sure is. I promised to meet my wife at Stockton for a show. She's been waiting there since 9 o'clock last night.
Oh, dear me.
Dave, see if you can get her for me. Try the sector office.
All right, Chief.
And Dave, see if you can calm her down.
Oh, sure, Chief, sure. I'll tell her the roads must roll.
No, don't tell her that. I don't think she'd appreciate that. She's heard it too often. Well, I better get going. Bye, Dave. Keep 'em rolling.
Keep them rolling, and the roadways go rolling along.
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future, the world of Dimension X.
Next week, the strange story of the test pilot who became the first man ever to invade outer space, and of what he found when he got there. Listen next week to The Outer Limit.
Tonight's adventures in Dimension X, The Roads Must Roll, was written by Robert Heinlein and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes as Gaines and Ralph Bell as Van Cleek. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King.
Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown, Dimension X? The ridge stars spread 200 light years across space. To the passengers on the immigration spaceship from Earth, they appear to be pinpoints of light in the darkness. The men, women, and children slept in their bunks in the tiered dormitories, or sat reading the immigration folders that described the worlds of the ridge stars in glowing, rosy terms. Anne Travis stood before the vision port and searched for the spot of light which would be her new home.
You can't tell which is which, can you? Well, I asked the steward for mine. There it is. You see? That nice, bright little star up in the left-hand corner? That one? Yes. Alka 3. I'm going to meet my son there. He sent for me. Harry always was a good son. I used to say to my husband just before he died, Harry is a good son. I'm going to Dora 3. My sister's there. Oh, isn't that nice? It's a wonderful thing for a young girl like you to start life way out here. I used to tell Harry's father that if he had any spunk, he'd be out on the ridge stars making a fortune. He was assistant buyer at Bloomingdale's kitchenware. I see. Maybe if I asked the purser, he could point out Dora 3. Oh, well, you go ahead, dear. You've paid your fare like everybody else. What did you say your name was? Anne Travis. Well, I'm Lottie Elders, Mrs. Harold E. Elders, though, of course, I don't use Harold's name now. Are you all alone? Yes, my folks died last year. That's why I'm coming out to live with my sister. Oh, why, you poor child, traveling halfway across space with nobody to talk to.
Attention. Attention, all passengers.
There it is. I just know it.
You are now within the Ridge Star quadrant. The trip is almost over. Captain Braxton wishes me to inform you that a vote will shortly be taken to determine on which planet of which sun every passenger of this ship will be landed.
What is he talking
The
about?
majority will decide, and all must abide by the decision.
I don't understand. What did he say about a vote? I don't believe it. He said everybody had to go to the same planet, didn't he? But Harry's on Alka 3. Look here, Mrs. Elders, they can't get away with this. They can't just set us down anywhere. I've got to meet my sister, but what can we do? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to see the captain right now.
Landing manifest 12436. Cargo holds 1 through 12 at premium rate, including...
I want to see the captain.
Oh, look, I'm busy now.
What kind of an outrage is this? I'm going to join my sister on Dora 3. That's where I bought my ticket for, and that's where I'm going. Vote or no vote.
That's what you think, baby. I'll call you back, Johnny.
I want to see the captain immediately. Do you hear?
Yeah, sure, I hear. Perfect in both ears.
What's the meaning of this? What are you people trying to get away with?
We're not trying, sister. You're in space now, kid. We don't go by Earthside red tape.
But my ticket...
Oh, you can paste that in the scrapbook. That's all it's worth. Where you're going, kid, fortunes are made and lost every day. The rich stars are wide open, and what the big operators say goes.
But my sister's waiting for me.
Oh, she'll get tired. It's a game, kid, and you're in.
The folder said you were encouraging immigration.
Oh, sure. But all the improvements in Earthside working conditions in the past 50 years were to prevent wholesale immigration to the rich. That's why we have to cut the price of the tickets below cost to suck you immigrants out here.
Why did you lie? Why won't you take us where we want to go?
It's simple, kid. The only way to make a profit is to dump each shipload in one place. This cargo goes to Delphi 2.
But the announcer said there was going to be a vote.
Oh, sure. But we've got it rigged so Delphi 2 gets it. Simple, isn't it?
But you can't.
Oh, it's not so bad, Delphi. It's okay. Real balmy. Great world. Especially for a kid like you.
But how would I get to my sister? She's expecting me on Dora 3. Can I take another ship?
Not where you're going.
What do you mean?
Look, baby. Space travel is an Earthside monopoly. They own the patents on the rocket power that makes space travel possible. Now, the rich government offered a prize for a new kind of power that wouldn't infringe on Earth rocket patents. But until that drive is developed, you just won't get off Delphi 2.
You can't travel to another planet?
That's right. There isn't any public transport, and only a millionaire could afford a private jet.
You mean I'm just stuck?
Mm-hmm. Like a fly on flypaper. Hey, where you going?
Back to my bunk. I want to lie down.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid you can't leave here till that boat is taken.
Why not?
Well, I'm a kindly type, friendly fella. I always give a straight story to anybody, but that means I've got to keep them under wraps. So, you'll stay right here till we land on Delphi 2.
Inspector under the first letter of their last name.
Anne, where have you been, child? I looked all over for you. They kept me in the prince's cabin. Mrs. Elders, what shall we do? I'm sure I don't know. Harry, he's my son, you know. He'll be just frantic. I know.
Attention. Any immigrants not cleared or in the proper line in 10 minutes will be indefinitely detained.
Oh, dear, I haven't been cleared yet. Oh, well, you'd better go then. I'll wait for you right here. Oh, be sure you do, dear. I'm so frightened. Oh, which way do I go? Oh, the ink sign is over there, see? Oh, I don't have my distance glasses. You will wait for me, dear? Yes, right here. Go along now.
All right, you. Come on.
Who are you?
Never mind. Come on. Grab her, Al. Come on.
Let go of me. What's the idea? Let go.
Get her.
Who are you? Let go. Let go.
We can't take any chances, Al. Put her out, right?
Come on, up.
What happened?
Come on, sit up.
What? Who are you? Your face.
That's a motor-driven face dissolver mask.
I've read about them. I've never seen one. Who are you?
That's why I'm wearing a mask, because I don't want you to know.
But there must be...
Look, lady, quit babbling. I hauled you in because you're pretty and intelligent-looking.
But why?
You're going to make 1,000 Stellas for yourself, whether you like it or not. Now stop looking like a scared rabbit.
You can't do this. I'll call the police.
The police? What do you know about the Red Star's government?
Nothing.
Obviously. Around here, things are different. Now, listen. You go to the New Sol Hotel. As soon as you're registered, you go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. They'll take care of you. Now, take this. It's a tape reel. Play it back in your room. It'll tell you what to do. After it's played once, it'll destroy itself. Is that clear?
I don't understand this at all.
Have you ever heard of the 7-day poison?
I don't think so.
Well, it's an interesting device. It feeds on the blood. On the 7th day, undergoes a chemical change, and... very easy to use. You just inject it like this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all over. For 7 days. The beauty of this poison is it can be made to look like a lock pattern in many thousands of small variations. But the only antidote must be some of the original poison at its base. And I have that. Don't get hysterical. I'll keep the antidote here. You can get it after you've done what I want.
But I don't know where I am. I don't know who you are. What if something happens to you?
That's your problem. But remember, the police can't help you. I have the antidote to the poison. All right, I'm through with her. Take her out and drop her at the hotel.
Room 2635.
Yes?
And Travis?
Yes? Who's this?
Play that tape reel and get started. We'll be watching you.
Hello? Hello?
Hotel New Sol desk. Can I help you?
I was cut off. Someone was speaking to me.
I'm sorry. There was no incoming call on your line. Can I help you?
No, never mind. I'd better play that tape. Guess you push this button.
You will find in your purse a full cigarette case. Half of the cigarettes are doped. Tomorrow, you will be hired as private secretary to Arthur Blord. When you're alone with him, you will give him one of the cigarettes. The case ejects 2 at a time. The outer one is doped. When he's unconscious, push the brown knob on the case. That will call my men, and they will come for you. You must come with them if you wish the antidote to the poison. After that, you'll be transported to any Ridge Star you wish. As soon as you've played this reel, go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. There's no time to waste. Tomorrow, the 7-day poison will have only 6 days to go. Now that the reel is finished, it will destroy itself.
Why do they have to pick me? Oh, for real. Come on, Travis. You've got 7 days.
Come in, Miss Travers. Well, everything seems in order. I must verify one thing.
Yes, Mr. Margerson?
You did arrive just yesterday on that immigrant ship from Earth.
Oh, yes, sir.
And this is your first job, not only on Delphi, but on any planet other than Earth.
Yes, sir, that's right.
We'll check that, of course. In the meantime, we can go up to see Mr. Blord. You'll be his private secretary. Just wait, please.
Did you say...
Did I say what?
Never mind. Nothing.
Have you heard of Arthur Blord before?
Not exactly.
You would if you'd been in the Ridge Stars longer. Amazing man. Amazing. We'll wait here for the elevator.
He must be very important.
Important? There are names out here that they've never heard of back on Earth, and the greatest name is Arthur Blord.
Really?
In less than 10 years, he's made himself an astronomical fortune. Astronomical. Here we are, after you. Penthouse.
What's he like?
You'll see. Very dynamic, sharp. He outsmarts the big shots, the planetary operators. They exploit whole worlds. He exploits them. They hate him, the Ridge Star operators. Well, here we are. Come along, Miss Travers. Mr. Blord is waiting for you. Mr. Blord, this is Ann Travers, her record and references.
Not interested. You check them. Margerson, get out.
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Ready, Miss Travers?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Take this dictation. Chromium field on Transion 4, value 100 billion stellars, just plain slogging. Let somebody else do it. Trigona 7, forest, all treasure wood, priceless. Dennis Carey, operator, hard, cruel, brilliant. Should be interesting if Miss Travers. You're new to Delphi, too, aren't you?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
I like new cities, new planets. They're soulless. They have no culture, no institutions with hardening of the arteries.
Yes, sir.
Now, I came out here as a wiper in an Earthside liner and jumped ship at Transion 4. That was 10 years ago. You couldn't do that on an old world. Earthside, they developed the science. Out here, we use it. The great developments today aren't in science. You don't believe that, do you?
I'm not sure, sir. Will there be any more dictation, Mr. Blord?
No, that's all. Don't leave yet. Mind if I smoke?
No.
Like a cigarette?
I, sir?
I asked if you'd like a cigarette.
Oh, thank you, but I have my own.
Oh? Earth cigarettes? Would you mind letting me have one? They're very rare out here.
Of course.
That's an interesting case. Ejects 2 at a time.
Here, Mr. Blord, take one.
Yes, thank you. Haven't smoked one of these in years. Light, Miss Travers?
Thank you.
Drop the lighter under the desk. I'll get it. Sit back in your chair. Should be down here. Miss Travis. Miss Travis. Hello, Dr. Gregg. Lord. I've got a girl here I want you to examine. No, she's out cold. Nope. Had her sitting in that wired chair, and I just threw the switch. There was something phony about her from the beginning. The pickup needle from her chair was jumping like a kangaroo, and when I mentioned cigarettes, it practically blew a fuse. That's what I want to find out. Why she should be carrying doped cigarettes. I want her examined. The full hypnotism treatment if necessary. I want to find out who sent her. I want to know who's gunning for me.
There you are, Lord. That's the best I can do, short of a full-length narco analysis.
You sure about that 7-day poison?
Absolutely. She's got less than 6 days.
And she was right off the immigrant ship. This is the first time I've had a plant. Somebody found out I hire 'em fresh from Earth.
I've got her memory track on that face dissolver mask. It was Delaney.
I thought so. But he isn't working alone. It's that gang working for the prize on the new space drive. I got into the competition 2 weeks ago, and I guess they're afraid of losing the money they've put into research.
What about this kid? She's got 6 days to live, and I wouldn't take any bets that they try to save her if she doesn't deliver the goods.
They wouldn't even save her if she did. Delaney wouldn't want witnesses. Doc, set everything up the way it was before she went under.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to let them take me.
Wait a minute. They're liable.
I know what they're liable to do, Doc. You take care of the girl and leave the rest to me.
Okay. It's your funeral.
Maybe. Now, let's revive Miss Travis. You set up the projectors. Come on, hop to it.
All set now. When you reverse the field, she'll come to, and she won't even know anything happened. You remember exactly what you were doing when you knocked her out?
Sure. I was looking for the lighter under the table for that doped cigarette of hers.
Well, I'll be going. Good luck out to her. You'll need it.
I'll be seeing you, Doc. All right, Miss Travis. Now let's take up where we left off.
Oh, I felt faint for a minute. Did you find the lighter, Mr. Blord?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I haven't had a good drag on an Earth cigarette in years. It's... stronger than
I've got to call those men now. Let's see the brown knob on the case. I didn't want to hurt him, but what can I do? What can I
do? How's Blord, Al?
I'd like a light. This dame sure fixed him.
Where are we going?
What do you care?
Tell her. In 6 days, it won't matter.
The boss give orders.
What's the difference? These two are dead ducks.
What do you mean?
You think the boss will give you that antidote?
He promised.
Al, he promised.
Did he really?
But did he give his scouts honor?
You know, spit twice and cross his heart.
Please, stop it. What will happen to him?
Blord? Oh, you got me. Last 3 guys I brought over here ended up in the disposal unit.
You mean they'll kill him?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no, they couldn't.
They don't play for marbles out here in the rich stars.
But the police...
It's just like Earthside, sister. Police take their cut and arrest a couple of bindle stiffs every night to make it look good.
Lord was playing around with some pretty big men. He knew what he was getting into.
Oh, I didn't think they'd kill him. I don't know anything about the Ridge Stars.
Oh, that's tough, lady. Real tough.
As
the beam. We're hit.
All right, fasten your straps. I'm taking her down.
Where are we going?
You're on Delphi 1.
What is this place?
A private escape. Very private. How you coming with Glore now?
He's happy.
All right, we stop here. I gotta spring the voice lock. Combination 1-3 alibi Peter uranium. Repeat. These things never work. 1-3 alibi Peter uranium. All right, drag him in now. Where do you want him, boss?
Clamp him in the chair.
Give me a hand, will you? Yeah. All right. Get his feet straight. Now throw the clamps.
Inject the key stimulant.
Right, boss. Tear off his sleeve, Al. All set, boss.
Do we have to keep on the masks? I got a cold. No, I think we can do without them. Shut off the power. There we are.
He's coming to. Delaney. What am I doing here?
I think we can get down to business, Lord. We represent 90 companies. We've entered the Ridge government contest to develop a space drive that won't infringe on Earthside patents.
Oh? Well, Delaney, I've got news for you. Unless one of you has a power drive that's 25% faster than an Earthside rocket, you're licked. What do you mean?
You must know, Delaney, you said...
Quiet. Can't you see you're trying to get us arguing?
When I heard some of the low speed you boys were
Shut
using...
up!
All right. You have the floor, Delaney.
2 weeks ago, you entered the contest. We know your reputation. You can't afford a failure.
Your whole financial structure is a bluff.
We know you have the drive. Lord, you better save time. Tell us now, what does your space drive run on?
Twisted rubber band.
You'll force us to extremes, Lord. All right, take that girl out of here.
No, let go of me. You can't kill him. I didn't know you tricked me into getting him.
Get her out.
Come on, sister.
Let's go.
Oh, all right. So you want to play rough?
Okay, that's 23 you owe me. Your deal. Cut. I trust your deal.
Oh, she's coming too, huh?
That's nice. Deal from the top.
Did they kill him?
Who knows? You want the top card?
No.
Neither do I.
Where is he?
In there.
They'll let him go, won't they? They've got to. I didn't realize they'd kill him.
Well, thank you. Just the card I wanted.
A pleasure, I'm sure.
Look, you've got to tell me. Are they going to kill Mr. Blore?
Look, lady. A, you are interrupting a very important card game. B, you're better off if they do kill Blord.
Let's face it, kiddo. You crimped him good.
Crimped him?
You think he's going to like you for doping him and getting him into this mess? Blord's a tough guy. When he first come out to the ridge, he killed 3 men in the mining camp over on Tranching when they double-crossed him.
Sure, if he ever gets out of this, I wouldn't bet a lead slug on your life. I'll go with 10.
Please.
Tough luck, Sonny. I got 3. And double for spades. Yep, if Blord gets loose, I wouldn't want to be in your place.
But I didn't understand. They tricked me.
I don't think Blord will sympathize. Deal the cards, will you? Hold it. Blord, you're a crawling rat.
I'm a realist, Delaney.
He's alive.
You got me, so I'll make a deal. Now, look. We form a joint stock company. Each of you signs over his patent rights to the new firm, and we split the shares.
You hear that?
You get my space drive. I get 25%. Delaney runs the new company. The whole deal to be publicized if you wish.
Lord, when this gets out, it'll ruin you. They'll despise you when they find out how much dirt you've eaten.
Well, I didn't have much choice, did I? All right. Now the other part of the deal. You got me here through a certain young lady.
Now, we can dispose of her.
No, I think I'd like to do that. I'll take her as part of my 25%.
Any objections, Delaney?
No, just be careful. Get rid of it clean. We don't want any mess left around for the Ridge government to find.
What are you going to do with me? You promised
Did I? Get rid of it, Blord. Only make it clean.
You can loosen your strap now. We're on automatic.
Where are we going?
Back to Delphi 2.
I didn't understand what they were going to do.
I know.
I didn't realize.
I'm sure you didn't. Miss Travis,
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pay you off.
Let go of my arm. Let go. Let go of me!
Shut up. What are you screaming about? Now hold still. This won't take a second. Just one small injection.
No, don't. Let me go, please.
Stop trembling. Stop. There. Scratched my face like a cat.
Will it take long
What?
for me to die?
For you to...
Stop it, please. Please, stop it.
But it's funny. It's very funny. That was the antidote.
The antidote?
The 7-day poison Delaney gave you. I got it from him before we left. Young lady, I knocked you out in my office and had your mind examined. I knew just what you had done. I came here because I wanted to.
Oh. You mean you're not angry with me?
Certainly not. Besides, everything turned out my way.
Your way? But they forced you to give them the drive. You signed away the right.
I'm a percentage man. Let them do the operating. Besides, it was their drive in the first place.
Their drive?
Yes, it's simple. I knew that after the contest there'd be a merger of research, so I merged it before instead. Wait till they discover they signed away their own patent rights. I don't think they'll feel like laughing then.
But to give Delaney control of the new company.
But don't you see, I had to get him to go along. He had the antidote to your poison.
What about me now?
Look at the vision port. Now turn up the scale.
Oh.
That's the ridge. You can have your pick. Name your world, and I'll take you there. You said your sister was on Doradora 3.
Yes, but...
But what?
I wonder if the opportunities for advancement aren't greater on your planet, Mr. Blower.
You know, Miss Travis, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they were.
How would you like to live in a world no larger than a single gigantic rocket ship? You'll find out more about it next week on...
Dimension
Today, Dimension X has transcribed Competition, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy from a story by E.M. Hull. Featured in the cast were Elaine Rost as Anne and Les Tremaine as Arthur Blord. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Burt Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
In the beginning, there was Jordan, thinking his lonely thoughts. Out of the loneness came a longing. Out of the longing came a vision. Out of the dream came a planning. And out of the planning came decision. Jordan's hand was lifted, and the ship was born.
You, look out! Are you all right? Yes, it missed me. What was it? A mutant with a slingshot. I think it dashed down that passageway. You want to go after it? We'd never catch it, Alan. It's probably 12 decks above us by now.
I didn't think they ever came down this far. Patrols usually get them before they reach this level.
They get more daring with each generation. This one looked like a female.
Male or female, it might have killed us. I told you this trip was pure foolishness. Climbing 24 deck levels to hear a crazy old man rave.
We're almost there now. Compartment X15, level 24. This is the place.
This area smells as if it hadn't been visited by a sanitation crew for generations.
Part of the ship is almost deserted.
Yes?
This is the compartment of John the Witness.
Who are you?
My name is Hugh Hoyland. I'm a cadet from the scientist barracks. This is my friend Alan Mahoney.
What do you want of John the Witness?
Only to talk.
Are you a believer in Jordan?
Naturally.
I have heard that there are those among the younger scientists who doubt the word of Jordan.
To doubt its death. We're not heretics.
Enter.
I have brought a gift of tobacco, grown on the richest level.
It smells good.
I assure you it's the best.
Wait here.
What a rat's nest. What the devil do you think he can tell you?
I don't know. Now, hush.
Well?
You are John the Witness?
I am.
Good eating to you. I am Hugh Hoyland. This is my friend, Alan Mahoney.
What brings a gentleman of the scientist class to my humble apartment?
I have heard that you and your parents before you have long been keepers of the legend of the ship.
Since Jordan gave the word.
I am anxious to hear the word as Jordan spoke it.
Why?
You see, among the young scientists, there have been some who talk against the word.
Regulations against such heresy?
Some of them say the ship has no purpose. They say that we're here accidentally. That we have no more grace in Jordan's eyes than the most deformed mutant who dwells in the highest level of the ship.
What shall I say to you?
I wish to hear the word from the mouth of one who knows, that I may become more convinced.
Sit. You have gift for the witness?
The finest tobacco.
Good. I will dim the light. Now, pay close attention, for these are the words as my father's father's father gave them to his son's son's son. This is how the ship came into being, how our people were created. In the beginning, there was only Jordan, thinking his lonely thoughts. In the beginning, there was darkness, formless and dead. Out of the loneness came a longing. Out of the longing came a vision. Out of the dream came a planning. And out of the planning came decision. Jordan's hand was lifted, and the ship was born. Mile after mile of good compartments, tank after tank for golden corn, ladder and passage, door and locker, fit for the needs of the yet unborn. He looked on his work and found it pleasing, meet for a race that was yet to be. He thought of man, and man came into being. Then Jordan checked his thought and searched for a key. Man untamed would shame his maker. Man unruled would spoil the plan. So Jordan made the regulations, some to speak and some to listen. Order came to the ranks of men. Crew he created to work at their stations, scientists to guide the plan. Over them all he created captain, made him judge of the race of man. Thus it was in the Golden Age.
These are the true words?
As my father's father taught them.
But what of the strange beast-like people on the upper levels of the ship? Surely Jordan did not create them.
Jordan is perfect. All below him lack perfection. You have heard of the legend of Huff?
I have heard that he mutinied against Jordan.
Darkness swallowed the ways of virtue. Sin prevailed upon the ship. And before wisdom prevailed and the bodies of Huff and his followers were fed into the converter, some of the rebels escaped and lived to father the mutants. They are tainted with the sins of their fathers.
One more question, witness.
Speak.
What is the ship?
The ship is a great sphere. 25 kilometers wide and 100 levels deep.
I know that, but what about the upper levels?
The regulations forbid us to venture into the upper levels, but it is said that beyond the levels of the mutants lies the forbidden place where Jordan's spirit prevails.
So I've heard. But something troubles me. Something which prompted my coming here.
Yes, my son.
What lies beyond the ship?
What?
What lies beyond the ship?
This is heresy.
Answer me.
I will not permit such talk. The ship is complete. The ship is universal. The ship is everywhere. The ship is endless.
Your mutterings are those of a frightened old man. They answer nothing.
You question the word?
I think you lie.
Hear me, Mr. Highland. For what you have already said, I can have your body fed to the converter. Your soul launched on the endless trip.
You threaten me.
You, for Jordan's sake.
You think I fear this dried fig of a man?
You. Sir, my friend is impetuous. He doesn't understand.
I might be persuaded to forget a substantial gift.
You pig. You. Come on, Alan. The sight of this so-called holy man offends me.
No, you shall not leave.
Look, don't try to frighten me with a gun, old man.
Remain where you are, heretic.
I warn you, put down the gun.
No. No closer.
Drop it.
Very well, then. Death to the heretic. Alan, get him!
Is he dead?
I don't know. Come on, Hugh. We've got to get out of here. Now where? We can't go back. They'd feed us into the converter. What's that?
The old woman must have turned in an alarm. Come on, the patrol will be here in no time.
Where can we go?
The upper levels.
But the mutant.
We'll have to take our chance. Listen, that's the patrol we've got to climb.
There's a hatchway. Down the corridor.
Quickly.
Halt! Halt, do we fire?
The ladder.
Hugh, wait. How far are we from the outside wall?
Judging by the slope of the deck, about 2 miles. Mutant territory. Come on, we'll try this passageway.
Hugh.
What?
I don't know. I feel as if we're being watched.
It's your imagination.
Perhaps not.
Oh! It's only a ship's rat. Get a grip on yourself.
It's as big as a dog.
Come on.
I can't drag myself much further.
We've got to find a compartment with water.
Oh, if only you hadn't asked him that stupid question.
There's no use going over that.
Why did you do it?
Why? Alan, I've been thinking about it for a long time. And when he began to give me those stupid pat answers, well, I just saw red, I guess.
But who are you to question the ways of Jordan? When you asked me to go with you to visit the witness, I thought you wanted spiritual help. I never dreamed
I'm
that
sorry, Alan. I couldn't foresee this. I didn't know what...
Wait a minute.
Now what? Another shipwreck?
No. I thought I saw something move near that bulkhead.
I didn't see anything.
Maybe my eyes are going bad still. Listen. You behind?
Alan, look out!
Where am I? What are you? Get away from me! Alan! Alan! Look out with that knife! Stay away from me, Alan!
Alan! Don't kill him, Bobo. Not yet.
Who are you?
Forgive my friend Bobo. Like so many of my people, he's rather impetuous where members of the so-called super race are concerned.
Who are you? What place is this?
As you can guess from my leg, I'm a mutant.
Where is Alan?
Your friend is dead. I was not able to restrain my people in time to save him.
Why don't you destroy me and get it over with?
We do not kill for pleasure, Mr. Hoyland, only when necessary.
You know my name?
I read your identification tag.
Who are you? Mutants can't read.
My name is Gregory. I'm a leader of my people. Although we are unfortunate in our heredity, Mr. Hoyland, many of us are quite intelligent.
Why do you live like animals?
We would rather live like free animals than like regimented slaves, as you do.
I've heard that you practice cannibalism.
Undoubtedly, you hear many things about us. We raise our own cattle on the upper levels, and those of our people who choose to farm raise enough crops for our small population. You turn your head. Why?
This one. I've never seen a creature like him.
Bobo is an unfortunate. He was born without the power of speech.
How can you tolerate a monstrosity?
We have learned to live with difference. If we began to destroy our imperfects as you do on the lower levels, there would soon be no one left.
It violates the regulations. The word of Jordan
You know,
states...
Mr. Hoyland, your people are really primitive and barbaric.
You dare say that to me?
I dare say a good deal more. Let us go to my compartment and speak further. I'm always interested in information of the lower levels.
I won't give you any information.
Bobo, I want Mr. Hoyland in my cabin, please.
Hey.
I advise you to go quietly, Mr. Hoyland. Bobo has a hatred of superior beings, which is unfortunate, but quite understandable. Proceed. Enter, Mr. Hoyland.
This is where you live?
Yes.
But you have books.
Stolen from your libraries, Mr. Hoyland.
Compton's Astrophysics. The Philosophy of Interstellar Navigation. Celestial Mechanics. You have read these?
Most of them.
Why did you bring me here? What do you intend to do?
Do you believe in Jordan, Mr. Hoyland?
There is no other belief.
And the trip? I suppose you believe in the trip, too.
Well, what else is there to believe? When you die, your remains are fed to the converter, and your soul makes the trip.
And where does the trip take you?
Why, to Centaurus, of course.
Huh? And what is Centaurus?
Why, Centaurus, mind you, I'm just telling you the orthodox answer. Centaurus is where you arrive when you've made the trip. A place where everything is happy and everybody's happy and there's always good eating. It's mythological, of course.
And you believe this?
The peasants believe it, literally, but many of the younger scientists like myself know that it's figurative, symbolic. Why do you ask?
Didn't it ever occur to you, Mr. Hoyland, that the trip is exactly what your peasants believe it is? That the ship and all the crew were actually going someplace, moving?
The ship can't go anywhere. It already is everywhere.
Imagine a place bigger than the ship, much bigger, with the ship inside it, moving inside.
But there can't be any place bigger than the ship. There wouldn't be any place for it to be.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Listen, you know the lowest level?
Yes.
If you started digging a hole in the lowest level, where would that hole go?
Where would that hole... Oh, no. No, it's forbidden to think such a thought.
Where would it go?
No. No, I can't think about it.
Bobo, we're going to take Mr. Hoyland to the place.
Where are we going?
To the top level.
But it's certain death.
Nonsense. I've been there 1,000 times. Come along.
No, I won't. You can't make me.
I think we can. Now, shall we proceed peacefully, or shall I have Bobo persuade you? door, Bobo. Inside.
What place is this?
This, Mr. Hoyland, is the main control room. Why, Mr. Hoyland, you're trembling.
It isn't true. There is no such place except in mythology.
Oh, you younger men are so wise, Mr. Hoyland, except for one thing. This happens to be the main control room of the ship.
But it's nothing but a huge room with an instrument panel.
What did you expect?
How do you know this is the main control room?
See these instruments? Using them, the navigator, many hundreds of years ago, actually steered the ship on its voyage.
I don't understand.
I didn't suppose you would. Your people have been so steeped in superstition and ignorance that the whole concept has lost its meaning. Sit in that chair. Don't be frightened. Sit down.
Very well.
Look up. What do you see?
Nothing but a huge shield.
Watch it for one moment, Mr. Hoyland. You are going to see something that few of us have ever been privileged to witness. Something so dazzling that you may find it hard to accept at first. But it is there. It is a reality. And ultimately you must accept it.
What are you doing?
I'm dimming the lights. Don't be frightened. Keep your eyes focused on the shield above us. Ready? Watch.
The shield! It's sliding back! Ghost of Jordan.
Well?
What am I seeing?
The universe, Mr. Hoyland. The universe in all its beauty. The stars, the planets, the suns and moons and the constellations. This is your heritage, Mr. Hoyland. The heritage you've been too stupid to see.
But it can't be. The ship is the universe. There is nothing but the ship.
Ah, but there it is. You see it before your eyes, spread out like a canopy of glory. You still deny it? Answer me, Mr. Hoyland. Do you deny it?
No, I can't. They lied. They lied to us.
Good.
Why did you close the shield?
You will see it again if you're not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Many times. I've shown this to others of your people whom we captured, and though they saw it before their very eyes, they would not believe it.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the ship, about the universe. What are these things? How did this come about?
Many thousands of years ago, on a planet like those you've just seen, a planet called Earth, a scientist named Jordan decided to build a ship that would carry men from one planet to another. For many years, Jordan and thousands of others studied and planned. And when they were finished, they built the ship. A ship so large that it had to be assembled in its own orbit beyond the place called the moon. 60 years it took them to construct. And when it was finished, a whole new science had been conceived. Then the trip was begun. The trip that was to land a colony of Earthmen on a far-off planet called Centaurus, millions of light years beyond the furthest planet ever reached before.
How do you know these things?
Among my books are the log which Jordan himself kept, and the records of the journey for the first 40 years.
What happened?
There was a mutiny. A man named Huff led a rebellion of those who wanted to turn back. In the struggle, the navigators were killed, and the crew fell into a state of anarchy. In the years to follow, small groups of men tried to organize the ship for navigation, and each time they failed. Finally, the whole idea was abandoned. And so for centuries, we have swung in space, unmanned, undirected, living in a lost world of our own making, without purpose, without direction.
Why have you told me this? Why have you brought me here? You could have killed me.
Can you guess?
No. No, I can't. Unless... But it would be too fantastic.
Well?
You want to finish the trip. Yes, that's it. What would it take to do it?
A miracle, almost. The crew would have to be trained. Many people, each skilled in a certain duty.
Couldn't you train your own people?
We are too few. Besides, the main drivers in the lower levels where my people are forbidden to go. No. It would mean that both our peoples would have to work together. Our differences encouraged rather than denied.
It can be done. You showed me. You can show others. I can show them.
Can you?
I'll see the captain himself. I have an uncle on the central board. I'll tell him what I've seen here.
And do you think he'll believe you?
Send one of your people with me.
That's asking a good deal.
I'm risking a good deal by going back.
Very well. Bobo will go with you.
He can't talk.
There will be no need for talk. I will write a message guaranteeing safe conduct for a group of unarmed scientists to visit the main control room. Bobo will take you safely through our territory. What happens when you reach your own level is up to you.
One moment. Yes, what you...
Quick, Uncle, let us in.
But this mutant...
He's harmless, please.
Now, what is this? You're wanted
I know all about that. Listen, Uncle, I must see the captain.
The captain? Are you mad?
You're a council member. You can get me to see him.
They'll kill you. You're wanted for heresy.
I don't care. I must speak with the captain. You're close to him. You can arrange it.
I don't understand why...
Uncle, listen to me. The ship is moving. I can prove it. Do you understand? There is a purpose in the ship.
I don't understand what you're babbling about.
Never mind. Just talk to the captain. Tell him I have information of tremendous importance. Tell him I've arranged a truce with the mutants.
A truce?
Here, show him this paper signed by their leader. Do it, Uncle, for my sake.
I don't know.
Please, Uncle. If I'm to die, let this be my last request to you.
Very well. I'll speak to the captain. I'll try.
And you say, Mr. Hoyland, that you saw this with your own eyes?
I swear it, Captain. I swear it on the word of Jordan.
Let me see that paper again. What do you think, Commander Erst?
I don't know, sir. It might be a trick.
I guarantee you safe conduct.
If these things are as Mr. Hoyland reports them, it would pay to risk a few lives.
The man is a convicted heretic.
Still, we mustn't discount his word entirely. He has a safe conduct. The mutant risked its life coming with him. I think we might investigate.
You will do it?
I'll have an expedition outfitted. Dismissed, Mr. Hoyland.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Captain, do
Commander Erst.
Sir.
You'll make the necessary arrangements for an expedition. I trust you understand.
Perfectly, sir. Perfectly.
Lieutenant.
Mr. Hoyland.
You'd better halt your men here. This is the spot.
Patrol, halt. I see no welcoming party of mutants.
There will be none. Their leader will meet you inside the main control room.
You don't say. And just where is this main control room?
Beyond that door.
I see. All right, men. Ready arms.
Why do you ready arms?
In case of ambush.
Ambush? Don't you think they could have ambushed you on the way up here a good deal more easily?
You know, Mr. Hoyland, I think you're a mutie lover. They have a place in the converter for that kind.
Lieutenant, are you mad?
No, Mr. Hoyland. But most certainly you are. To think that we could be lured up here to be slaughtered with a fantastic story about some mythical control room.
Guns ready, sir. Lieutenant, I warn you, these people have acted in good faith. If you break that
Call
faith
your
now...
mutants to open the control room, Mr. Hoyland.
No, not until those guns are dismounted.
As leader of this expedition, I order you to call them.
I refuse. You cannot do this thing. This is no way to keep a truce.
Very well, if you refuse. Oh, there! Mutant! Come out!
For Jordan's sake, Lieutenant.
Too quiet for comfort. Mutant! Open the door!
Please, Jordan, don't let anything happen. Please don't.
It's opening. Ready, men. Someone's coming out.
Look at his leg.
Horrible.
Steady.
He's walking toward us.
I can't stand this.
Look out!
Gregory! No! You fools! You've killed him!
Here come the rest of them. Fire! That should teach them a lesson they won't forget. All right, men. Inside the room. Orland, you're under arrest as a conspirator in this ambush.
Ambush, you fool, you blind, stupid fool.
That'll be enough. Have you been inside this place before?
Yes.
What's all this machinery?
These are the controls he would have used to steer the ship.
He's gone out of his mind, Lieutenant.
Steer the ship?
Who? The leader. The one you killed.
This ugly mutant?
This ugly mutant happened to be a man of true greatness.
You're mad.
Am I? This man had a vision which could have saved you, but you chose to kill him because you couldn't stand the sight of his difference from you.
I'll not listen to these ravings.
Close your ears. Shut your minds against the conscience that tells you it's wrong to kill. That tells you that your need to be arrogant only proves your inadequacy to yourself.
Shut him up. Don't listen to him, man.
You can't shut your ears. My words sting you. You cannot shut your mind. And you cannot shut your eyes. Don't do this!
The roof. It's moving back.
Look. Let the vision of this confound your ignorance and blind your eyes. This is the heritage you tried to stifle in your own breasts. This is the heritage of stars and open skies for which men have yearned for centuries. Try to destroy this, and you will only destroy yourselves.
Death to the heretic.
Kill me if you choose. But I say to you that this you cannot keep from our people, that they will seek it out, and the ship will be manned, and the ship will be steered, and there will be freedom and purpose and respect for ourselves. This is your heritage. Look upon the universe. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension
This has been the concluding broadcast in the current series of Dimension X. If you are interested in the continuation of this series, please write and tell us so. Your ideas and suggestions will be given the most thoughtful consideration in determining the future of this program. Just drop a letter or postcard to Dimension X, care of NBC, Radio City, New York.
Today, Dimension X has transcribed Universe, written for radio by George Lefferts and based on a story by Robert Heinlein. Featured in the cast were Mason Adams as Hugh and Peter Capell as Gregory. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Bert Berman. Engineer Bill Chambers. Sound created by Manny Siegel, Max Russell, and Wes Conant. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King. Ed Archie Gardner tangles with Tallulah Bankhead on The Big Show.
Adventures in time and space. told in future tense. Dimension. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X.
This is the story of the second expedition to the planet of Landro. I am recording it for any future expeditions which might land on this God-forsaken sphere, in the hope that they may learn from our tragic example. As I write, there are 2 of us left. 2 out of an original complement of 180 men. One of us, myself, will be dead in less than 27 minutes. As for the other, heaven have mercy on him. This is how it happened. On June 3rd, 1997, less than 2 months ago, the last of our supply ships blasted off Landro, headed for Earth.
Well, there she goes. Like a big-bottom bird, huh?
Like to be aboard her, that is?
Me? Listen, Captain, I've been kicking around with you from one planet to another for so long now, they're all getting to be the same.
Not this one, Bad Ears, not Landro.
No, maybe you're right there. I ain't never been on one like this. It's a cemetery, that's what it is, a big, cold cemetery. Them empty cities, that's what does it. Sitting there like they was tombs.
Bad Ears, you're getting to be a poet in your old age.
I ain't so poetic I didn't remember to swipe a bottle of Irish off that supply ship.
What?
Right here.
You know, Brady, if you weren't the best all-around cook and troubleshooter I ever shipped, I'd court-martial you.
Well, since I ain't being court-martialed, how about we should open this Irish head tonic after supper tonight, right?
Right. We walked back to the cluster of plastic huts we call the base. It was beginning to freeze up, and that purplish glow had settled across the planet. Yes, it was like a cemetery, all right. A cemetery of dead cities. We walked past one of them, a huge plastic dome with tall, graceful buildings, atomic power systems, vacuum conveyors. All perfect, all deserted, all ominous. How had it happened? Nobody knew for sure. But the best guess was that the plague had frightened the original inhabitants of the planet so that they had piled into rocket ships and headed for some distant planet. I often wondered why a civilization so advanced as Landro could not find a serum to beat the plague. Well, maybe the Aborigines back in the hills knew the answer. Those strange, ugly little people who had taken to the caves the day we landed. All we knew of them was what we found in the anthropological report of the expedition which preceded ours, and an occasional glimpse by someone on a hunting patrol. When I reached my shack, Morgan, the expedition surgeon, was waiting for me. He was sweating like a pig, and it wasn't the heat because my shack was as cold as a grave.
Good evening, Captain Morgan.
Well, what brings you here,
Doctor? A matter of the serum, sir.
What about the serum?
It's just that, well, it's no good.
No good?
It's too cold. 10 years too cold.
Didn't you examine it?
Yes, I did, but, well, my eyesight has been failing lately.
Well, are you aware, Doctor, that the last supply ship has returned to Earth? Do you know we'll have no more contact for 2 years?
Well, I must have misread the label, sir.
Dr. Morgan, just how long do you give us?
Well, the present immunity will last a week or so, and then it's just a question of time until someone picks up the plague. After that,
a month. 2 months at most. Do you have any thoughts as to how we might save ourselves?
No, sir, I'm afraid not.
What about the natives? They don't die from the plague.
They must have a treatment for it. If they didn't, there would be no natives.
Would you be willing to go on an expedition to the hills to find out?
Right now, Captain, I'd be willing to do anything. Absolutely anything. I'm truly sorry, sir.
You're sorry. Dr. Morgan, would you mind telling me how it feels to murder 180 men? 181, including yourself? lot of thinking after Dr. Morgan left my hut. It was still unreal for me. After all, the planning of an expedition was no simple thing. You put into it the results of years of training and experience. Every man on my crew was handpicked for his skill. And yet a simple thing like a myopic surgeon misreading a label could blast the whole thing. Yes, it was a shame. I did the only thing I could think of. I yelled for Batty-Ears Brady. Brady, get your carcass in here and hurry it up.
Okay. What's up?
Sit down, Batty-Ears.
You got trouble, Ira?
We got trouble.
What?
The serum's no good.
What?
Morgan forgot to check it. It's 10 years too old.
Holy jumping snails. You're going to court martial?
Well, that wouldn't do much good. We'll all be dead pretty soon unless somebody figures something out.
Why did they send these civilians with us?
Well, it was a mistake. Anybody can make a mistake. Only this was a big one.
Ira, what are you going to do?
Well, there's only one chance. One chance in 10 million.
What?
The natives.
Them cave rats, what good can they do us?
They don't get the plague.
So?
So maybe they know a cure.
Oh, listen, those gimpos don't know nothing. Take it from me.
It's the only chance.
Okay, let's get a few of them and beat it at them.
That's why you're here.
Shoot.
How'd you like to come along on a little expedition up to the cave country?
That's a good way to die young.
We die young anyway.
Okay, what's the pitch?
Now, we don't dare let the rest of the camp know. It would knock our morale to pieces.
Who's going?
You, me, the doctor, and Faulkner.
Faulkner? Listen, Ira, he's worse than the doctor.
Well, I know he isn't exactly the man for a hunting trip, but he knows more about the native culture than anybody here. Now, he's the only one who's completely familiar with the records of the first expedition.
Okay, so it's me, you, the doc, and Faulkner. When do we start?
Tonight, in half an hour. Now, we should reach the cave country by tomorrow. With luck, we'll be able to find natives before night.
And then the fun starts. You know, Ira, them gimpos don't exactly love us.
Nobody loves us, Batty-Ears. That's one of the great paradoxes about this job. We come here to help them, to civilize them so they can live like human beings instead of pack rats, and they run off to the hills and hide from us. Like we had the... I almost said plague. Okay, Batty-Ears, get the doc and Faulkner. Benny Faulkner's body was small and consumptive. But he had a good brain. He was the best anthropologist the Interplanet Institute could recommend. He and Dr. Morgan were the only two civilians on the expedition. The rest of us were all Army or Space Patrol. And we hadn't been marching very long before Benny's frail constitution began to show signs of wear and tear.
What's the matter, Benny?
It's nothing. Just the dust. I'm allergic to dust.
You hear that, Ira? He's allergic to dust. We better call off the expedition, huh?
Easy, Batty-Ears.
Yes, sir.
You want to rest a while, Faulkner?
It's okay. I can make it.
Well, we should be in the cave country in an hour or so. It'll be daybreak then, and the going will be easier. How about you, Doctor?
I'll make it.
Okay. Let's go.
Ira.
What is it?
Don't look now, but very slowly turn your eyes to the right and look behind that big yellow rock.
Okay.
You see anything?
No.
Keep looking. Don't stop walking or let out.
Okay.
There.
Looked like a shadow or something.
It's one of them gimpos. He's been following us now for almost an hour, dodging in and out behind rocks. I think there's more of them, too, but I couldn't swear.
Well, anyway, they know we're coming. That's for sure.
What do you think? Should we bring one in?
Not yet. We don't know how many of them there are. Just pretend you don't see them. And above all, tell the others to show no signs of fear. There's nothing will start these simple-minded cavemen like fear. That was it. The manual said under no circumstances shall a member of the patrol display fear before a native. The dignity of the Earthman must be preserved at all costs. Walk erect, be firm but just, and do not allow the native to feel he is your superior. It was a good rule, and it always worked. And just before dawn, we reached the cave country. We were tired and hungry, and we stopped to cook some food and rest. Everything was quiet. There was no sign of the Gimpo, as Battiers called him, until...
Hey, get in there, you sneaking little dirty man. Come on, boy, break these shirts.
What's the trouble?
Look at me, Ira. They caught me one of these Gimpos sneaking around outside the tent. He almost slit my throat with one of those stone knives he did. Yeah.
Bring him into the light of the fire where we can get a look.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Faulkner.
Yes, sir?
Try to establish some communication.
All right, get in there.
Look out. Now, no need to knock him down, Battiers.
That's the only language they understand.
Faulkner, see if you can reach him.
Okay, Captain. I'll need a drum of some sort.
A what?
Well, I find they communicate with one another through a very primitive kind of vibration of the tongue. Now, the closest I can come is a series of drum beats, a sort of a Morse code. The psychologist on the first expedition had it worked out before he was killed by the plague. I've studied his notes, and I think it'll work.
You mean these animals can talk to one another?
I believe they can. At any rate, we'll have a chance to find out. Do we have something I can use for a drum?
Oh, here. Take my helmet.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, I'll tap it 4 times. That's a greeting of some sort.
Oh, just a moment.
Yes, sir?
I don't want you treating this fellow like an equal. Don't give him the idea that we're desperate. Once they sense that, we're lost.
All right. Here we go. Now I'll give him the helmet. Good. He seems to understand. What shall I ask him, sir?
Now, first, tell him we come in peace. Reassure him that we don't wish to hurt him or his people.
I'll try. He seems to understand. He wants to answer.
Well?
He says, others like you came to Landro.
He must mean the first expedition. Go on. I want you to lead around to the subject of the plague gradually. Don't let on that we're desperate.
I'll do my best, sir.
It's a strange sight. On one side of the helmet crouched little Benny Faulkner. Across from him crouched the Landrian, a humpbacked gray little creature with an enormous head and those soft lavender eyes. I'm setting forth in this narrative the transcript of their conversation as Benny Faulkner later transcribed it from the best of his memory. Faulkner, we come as friends. Native. Why? Faulkner, we will help you to rebuild your cities and make your machines work again.
Why?
We want to help you to enjoy the benefits of the great culture which once thrived on Landro.
Why?
Because we want to help you.
If we ask you not to help us, will you go away?
We stay for your own good. We have helped many others on other planets.
How?
We teach them a better way to live. Their way of life was better than your way.
Have you tried our way?
Why were your cities abandoned? Was it the plague?
Yes.
Do you still fear the plague?
Yes.
Do any of your people become afflicted?
Some.
How do you treat them? How do you keep the plague from spreading? Do you have a cure? How can we find a cure for the plague?
Go among my people.
Will we find the answer among your people?
My people have the answer.
Will you tell me the answer?
Go among my people.
The drum beats ended. As far as the Landring was concerned, the conversation was ended. He rose to go, and Faulkner stepped from his path. But Brady was there to ensure the bet.
Hold on there, bucko. You ain't going no place.
Don't maltreat him, Brady. What'd he say, Benny?
He says his people have the answer.
What do you think?
Well, there may be some truth in it. He says some of his people still get the plague.
That must mean it isn't a question of immunity. They must have a cure.
Well, he wasn't clear on that, Doctor.
And they must have a vaccine to keep it from spreading.
Does he know?
Evidently not.
I could beat it out of him.
I don't think he's lying.
Well, that leaves it up to us. Now, the first level of caves are on top of that cliff about a mile ahead.
It's a trap. I'll bet my last dollar on it.
Maybe not. We'll have to risk it.
Now, wait.
Yes, Doctor.
Let me go. I got you all into this.
How will you talk?
Well, Benny here can give me enough of the code so I can ask the big question.
All right, Doctor. We'll wait at the foot of the cliff. Now, you go on ahead. If you aren't back down in 3 hours, we'll come up after you.
What about the gimpo we've got?
Now, we'll hold him as a hostage to ensure the doctor's safety.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the doc comes back, all right. We'll let him go. Your job, that is.
A pleasure.
Don't kick him.
Natch. But if he gives me any trouble, I'll take a shovel to his bottom. You can count on that.
It took Dr. Morgan about an hour to pick his way up the side of the cliff to the first of the openings where the Landrians lived. He waved to us before he entered the mouth of the cave. And we waved back. Then we settled down to wait. It was a long, long wait.
8 o'clock. He's been up there more than 3 hours, Ira.
We'll give him a little more time.
It's getting colder.
Now keep the fire going.
You think we'd have heard something by now? If that was going to knock him off, I mean.
Well, not necessarily. Wait. Look. Up on the cliff.
That's the doctor.
What's he running for?
I don't know.
He looks scared.
Crazy fool. If he don't look out...
Doctor! Dr. Morgan, look out! Look out! We found him at the foot of the cliff, crumpled and broken. We never knew why he had thrown himself off. Scrawled across the pad he had taken with him, on which to make notes concerning the answer, was a single word. The word was courtesy. The expedition was a failure. Okay, that's it. I have to head back for camp and just wait and pray.
Not just yet, Ira. Okay?
What's on your mind, Battier?
If it's all the same to you, I'd like to take the gimpo here out behind the rocks and have a talk with him. Okay, Ira?
What do you think you'll accomplish?
I don't know. Just a quiet little talk.
No violence?
No violence. Just a real, earnest type conversation. Okay, Ira?
It was one of those decisions the commanding officer dreads. 180 lives against the chance that Battiers could persuade the little gray man to give an answer he might not even know. I nodded, and Battiers took the little native off behind an outcropping of rock. He was back in 15 minutes, dripping with sweat. Well?
Let's go, Ira.
Nothing, huh?
But nothing.
Is he,
Yeah, they ain't made very good, those little gray people. They come apart too easy. So, let's go, Ira.
All right. Hey, Benny. Hey, Benny. What is...
I feel kind of sick all of a sudden.
Huh. He's got a weak stomach. Dust allergy.
Hey, wait a minute. What is it, Benny?
The back of my head. Dull kind of pain.
Stick out your tongue. Give him a hand, Battiers. We've got to get him back to camp.
What is it?
I'm not sure. With that blackness on the tongue and the headache, it could be the plague. By the time we got Benny Faulkner back to camp, he had the red spots on his body. And then the fever began to rage. It was a plague, no mistake about it. Before morning, Collins, the supply sergeant, had it. Then it was Peabody. After that, the men went down like 10 pins. They screamed and moaned. And then they died. Come. Hello, Battiers.
Ira?
Have a drink. It's the last of the cough medicine.
Yeah. Tired. Oh, man, I've never been so tired.
What's the count?
We lost 6 more today.
6. That makes 29 dead. 29 in less than a week.
It's them stinking natives. They put the whammy on us.
I take it easy.
Easy? I'd like to take a machine gun up to them hills and knock off the whole bunch of them.
How's Benny?
Now, that's a funny thing. I went into his tent this morning figuring sure he'd be dead by now. Instead, I see his fever is down a couple of points.
That's amazing. Usually gets him in a matter of days. Faulkner's been hanging on for weeks now. Well, keep an eye on him. It was a nightmare of eternity after that. A ceaseless round of caring for the stricken, of helping with the graves, of writing in the book the names of those who died. Sleep came in snatches or when we were so exhausted we couldn't stand. Then one morning, Batty Brady dragged himself into my shack. Sit down, Bat. What's the count?
6 left. We buried the chaplain today. You got a cigarette?
Yeah, sure. How's Faulkner?
I don't get it.
Still alive?
He's getting better. He's sitting up.
Holy mackerel.
Ah, this is a good cigarette.
Not like any other.
No, this one's different, Ira. It's my last.
What do you mean?
Take a look at my tongue, Ira. See? Little black spots.
Somehow, I managed to get him into bed. He was already raving when I gave him the last of the morphine. It was incredible. Big, brawling Batty Brady, a tower of strength, lying sick and whimpering on a cot. I went out on the moors to think. The sun was a dull red glow. Cold breeze whipped up. The planet of Landro was an emptiness. I thought about Batty and Dr. Morgan and Benny Faulkner. Why should Faulkner, of all of us, recover from the plague from which no man recovered? I turned and went back to see Benny Faulkner.
Hello, Captain.
Hello, Benny. How are you?
It's good. Got up and walked a couple of steps today. How goes it?
Brady's down.
Oh.
Listen, Benny. There must be some reason why you survived the virus.
Well, how about you? Why didn't you ever even get it?
I give it time.
What can I do?
I want you to tell me everything you know about yourself, everything you can remember.
But why?
Because somewhere in your makeup is some little thing that makes the difference. At least I can leave a record for any future expedition that comes to Landro. Okay?
Okay, Captain Warren. Where do you want me to start?
At the beginning. Now, I'm going to take notes.
Well, I was born on the 2nd of July in 1971. My parents were ordinary people. My father was everything I can remember. For 3 days now, you've questioned me.
All right. Now take it from where the natives started to walk away. You stepped out of his path and Brady grabbed him.
Okay, so I stepped out of his path.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why did you step out of his path?
Well, why not? Courtesy, that's why. What's the matter?
Courtesy. Funny. That's the word that Dr. Morgan had written in his notebook.
Well, I don't see...
I don't either. Hey, tell me, why should you want to be courteous to a native?
Why not?
What about maintaining your own dignity?
Are you talking about dignity or arrogance? Look, I don't get this at all, Captain.
You're familiar with the records left by the first expedition, Benny. What happened with the natives?
Well, the natives were friendly enough at first, but after a while, they went back to the caves.
And when we got here, they wouldn't come near us, right?
Right.
Yet we came to help them.
So what?
So maybe this, Benny. Maybe we were all wet in our deductions. Maybe those cities weren't deserted centuries ago after all. Maybe these little people up in the caves are the same people who used to live in those cities.
Well, why should they leave?
Well, maybe they found out the big cities weren't the answer. Maybe they found out that civilization doesn't necessarily bring happiness. So they just packed up and left. Returned to the simple life.
That doesn't make sense. You're forgetting the plague.
Benny, what is the plague?
Well, I don't know.
I think the plague was nothing more than what we know as greed and arrogance.
Captain, you're going off your rocker.
I think maybe we were in line to die of it, even if the serum had been good.
Well, it violates all the laws of Earth.
We aren't on Earth. We're on Landro. A planet 1,000,000 light years from home. Now, why are we trying to take these primitive, happy people and make them like ourselves?
Why are we trying to mold them to convince them that they belong in cities, that they should be building better can openers instead of just enjoying human relationships? Why, Benny? If that isn't sheer, stupid, crazy arrogance, my name isn't Ira Warren.